Hey, what's going on, Kaylin? My name is Joe Bernstein, and I'm here to pitch you some ideas for the podcast, man. I've been listening to the podcast a little bit. More importantly, I've looked at your About page, and I really dig what you're about, why you started the podcast, the things that inspire you, the values that you hold true for yourself. So I'm digging it, man. I'm a personal and professional growth coach. I should start by saying that. I mostly work with men, and I work with men in all different phases of their life. There are certain things I'm passionate about. So here's some ideas I have for your podcast. You say you'd like to create a source for men to be able to have a resource to get the support they need in all major categories of life. So an idea I love that I really want to bring to the table more and more is the 5 lies told about change. Now, I've changed a lot. I'll give you kind of my transformation resume here in a moment, but I see a lot of bullshit out there about what men are being taught about how change actually works. Or sometimes they're just being inspired to live a different life, but not being taught how to actually change. Another podcast I love doing, and I've done for a podcast called Man Alive recently, is called Asking for What You Want Without Seeming Weak or Needy. Men are told to prioritize their needs, ask for what they want, be direct, but they're not given the skill set or the mindset. And I like to teach that. Along the same lines, I have another podcast idea that would be the art and skill of difficult conversation. If you want to go the health route, I personally have lost over 150 pounds. I'm a certified eating psychology coach. I did it without dieting. I've kept it off for 5 years. And I love to share the content about how I lost 150 pounds without dieting and how I've kept it off. And then I'm really a big, huge proponent for real, true core confidence, not posturing bullshit, not fake it till you make it, but kind of what I like to call oak tree confidence. So another topic that I would propose is stop posturing and gain confidence. So now that I've shared with you what I want to do with you on the podcast, I believe we'd make a kick-ass, badass, amazing podcast that would bring a lot of value to your listeners. It would bring you into the focus as well as a great coach. It would bring me into the focus as a great coach. And what I want to share with you is that I'm a man who's not just a coach. I've lived transformation. I grew up obese. I grew up very, what I consider socially awkward or socially anxious. I grew up with a lot of fear-based thinking, a lot of anxiety. I grew up believing I had no capacity to have success with women and grew up with a lot of challenges sexually. And essentially, over the course of time, I've lost 150 pounds, as I mentioned, without dieting. I've kept it off. I survived a really toxic marriage, and the divorce, the end of that marriage, became the moment in life that I learned to thrive and grow and explode into the life I want. I worked 14 years in retail management. I left. I took a big leap and jumped out of that career to create my own coaching business, which I'm now making a good bit more money coaching than I ever did in my old career. And I'm doing it with a lot of passion, a lot of purpose. I love the work I do. I love my clients. And I really transform socially. I have a lot of community around me. I have a lot of friends. The way I show up in space with people, the way I authentically relate is so different to who I was many years ago. So I have lived whole-scale transformations, physical, emotional, psychological, I might even say spiritual, and relational, sexual. And I really want to be sharing more and more, and I believe the listeners of Men's Journey today would value a lot from a conversation between us. So I'd love to hear your feedback. I'd love to connect. I'd love to get on the podcast. So hit me up, man. I think we do a great job together. Peace.